Should we move on to another show quickly? I know, Gary, you haven't seen this, but No Offence. Luke, did you put...
I'll
didn't you?
take.
Yes.
I'll pop away for a second. Then.
Pop away.
More importantly, where does he go when he pops away for a second? I imagine he's got a little room that he sits in.
Well, it'll take him a longer time now, surely, with his hobble. So, No Offence...
I can still hear you.
No Offence, which is the second series of Paul Abbott's, would you say, comedy crime drama? Would you say it's a bit of
Oh. Have you ever heard Paul Abbott describe it in any way? Because I wouldn't know how to...
He did. Oh, he's sort of like a blackly comic crime drama. I think they were certainly the first series. That's where they were going for.
Okay,
I mean,
let's
redo
that intro with Paul Abbott's introduction.
Yeah.
Then.
So a blackly comic crime drama returning for its second series. No Offence. So basically, this series was sort of setting up more of a plot about sort of warring criminal families, which is, I believe, did they do something similar in Shameless?
They did. It reminded me a lot of that, and that's going back nearly 10, 12 years, but it reminded me a lot of it.
There was a lot more, I would say, a lot braver stuff that went on in the first series with the sort of killing of the
Down syndrome
girls. This series is more sort of traditional, trying to stop two crime families from killing other members of the crime family. It starts at the funeral of the son of, you'll have to help me with the character names here because it's a long time since I've seen it. The matriarch of the crime family. Nora Atta.
Nora Atta.
Yeah, that's it. She's they're at the funeral of her youngest son, who we believe took his own life. There's a bomb that goes off, which is by the body, but the body isn't in the casket because the creme owners haven't paid their gas bills, which I thought was quite an amusing side plot.
Genius.
Mr. Cornick, would you mind explaining why we discovered 20 bodies in a 10-foot burial pit, including her beatas, right behind your crematorium?
Mum signs the agreements. I manage the business. I'm not even on the deeds yet!
Yeah? Well, ask the seedy little shit whether or not I gave him the money to gas the flamers, which he then blew on those prostitutes again and again and again.
Tell her to take her selective cataracts out and face some facts! The gas bills are hers. Read the contract.
And don't be thinking just prostitutes. No, these were real specimens, fatter than I can describe. The size of him beneath those girls. I mean, how much more ridiculous could anybody want to look?
I did not take part in the disposal of Herbie Attar's body. I want Nora Attar to know that this would never have happened on my watch.
As it goes on, they're trying to find out who planted the bomb. They think it's the sort of Irish Kennedy family with the sort of the dad, Earl Kennedy, in hospital, just recovering from a transplant.
The son,
Jackie Kennedy.
Brilliantly, Paul Abbott. That is Paul Abbott.
I mean, that's the main story. Is going to be these feuds between the Atters and the Kennedys, and you've got the stuff bubbling away about the sort of death of Viv's husband at the hands of Elaine Cassidy's character. Basically, Viv's husband turned out to be the serial killer at the end of the first series, didn't he? And he was killed by Dinah. And the other character, Alexandra Roach's character, I've forgotten her name.
D.S. Joy.
Joy, yeah. She sort of knows about it, but doesn't know the reasons behind it. Is that right?
She doesn't know. She sort of knows, but she doesn't know what she knows, if that makes sense.
And Will Mellor doesn't know anything generally.
No, but there is a sense that secret will be a shadow over the coming series. I also hope what they do in this series, like they did in the first, is have the crime families or the feuding families perhaps in the background while they tackle other things, because I don't want it to be the main focus. But I do think Joanna Scanlon as Viv Dillon is very good. Paul Ritter is fantastic. I think the dialogue
I like Elaine Cassidy as well. I think she's good in this. Elaine Cassidy sort of grounds it for me, as does actually another thing we didn't mention was Sarah Solmani's joined the cast.
Oh, she's surprisingly brilliant in this.
Yeah, as the new DCI, I think. Is that right? DCI? She's the boss, basically. She's taken over from Colin Salmon, who was the old DCI. She doesn't sort of play into Viv's like comedy. She doesn't get her banter. She doesn't understand. And then at the end, it's like, oh, she's one of the lads. You know, that's how she gets away with it. That's how she commands respect. She's an interesting addition because I think she has a lot of her lines are a lot of the criticisms that the character had in the first series.
They've sort of built her in to oversee the madness that was series 1. But oddly, I didn't find... Obviously, there was an uncomfortable shower scene at the very start of episode 1.
That was amusing.
I didn't find Joanna Scanlon as in your face, perhaps. Maybe I'm just used to the
I
way
think they've toned a lot of stuff
works.
down. At the screening, Paul Abbott did say that they admit they made some mistakes in the first series, and I think... Maybe they want. I don't think they turned it down that much though, because I still think that a lot of it was turned up to 11. A lot of the stuff. I mean, there was the stuff in the mortuary with the fingers, the stuff as well. I think they've pitched her and Nora quite well against each other. They've drawn Nora.
They're an interesting dynamic together.
Yeah, they sort of respect each other, but they're on different sides of the law. So it's an interesting.
I have to say, I really enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it a lot.